Let's try a countdown and we'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Praise the Lord. Good morning, and welcome, welcome, welcome back to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan, Sr. Y'all, I'm so happy, so excited, so ecstatic, so elated to have this wonderful opportunity to lead you today in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Hey, this is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And I'm so glad that you're here with us on today as we lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 341. We're going to have a little fun. Today's lesson is when I'm courageous, I give myself credit. When I'm courageous, I give myself credit. When I am courageous, I give myself credit. It takes courage to grieve. It takes courage to grieve. For those of you who are experiencing grief and mourning, the loss, change, and transition that you're going through right now, I want you to know it takes courage to breathe. It takes courage to grieve, right? The ability to face fear, challenges, and adversity or uncertainty with strength, determination, and confidence, right? That you, in order to face this challenge, this adversity, this season of uncertainty, right? You have the ability to do so with strength, determination, and confidence. Not understanding or knowing what the outcome is going to be, but understanding and knowing that this is essential, that grieving and mourning is essential. If I want to be in a place of better, if I want to see myself progress, if I don't want to keep feeling the way I'm feeling, it is absolutely positively imperative that you posture yourself in a position to where you can, with courage, right, face this grief that you're experiencing. Let's talk about it, y'all. Grief takes so much courage. It takes so much courage. It's so hard to put my feet on the floor each morning. It takes courage just to get up, just to get going, just to face another day. How many of y'all can relate to this? That it takes so much courage that it can be, especially initially, it can be so hard to put your feet on the floor and just keep going. Because sometimes it makes you not want to keep going. It makes you not want to move forward. Sometimes the pain is so paralyzing. Why? Why should I keep on going? Why should I keep on moving forward? And it takes courage just to get up, just to keep moving, just to keep going. And now, here it is, I'm being told that I need to not only acknowledge my grief, first and foremost, Acknowledge your grief. A lot of us don't acknowledge it. What do? We suppress it. We don't express it. We ignore it. We don't explore it. Time out for all of that, because the first step in all of this is to acknowledge your grief. You go to a like an alcohol anonymous meeting or whatever the case may be. It's the first thing they do is they acknowledge it. Hey, I'm so and so. I'm an alcoholic. That they acknowledge who they are, what they're dealing with, and what they're going through. Do you even acknowledge your grief? Right? Do you acknowledge it? Y'all remember Florida Evans in Good Times when James died? She was so busy fixing food and making arrangements, doing all this stuff that she just kept ignoring it. She didn't want to explore it. She kept on and kept on pushing people off. She started leaking a little bit because she was snapping at people, yelling at people. And it just came down to that final moment where she couldn't ignore it anymore. She finally acknowledged it and slammed that punch bowl down and uttered those famous three words, ham, ham, ham. I don't want them to cut me off. She uttered those famous three words. Y'all know what that was? That was her finally acknowledging her grief. That was her acknowledging that I'm not all right. That was her releasing so she could get some relief. The first step to it all is acknowledging your grief. Acknowledging your grief. I love it. Check this out, y'all. And now I'm being told I need to not only acknowledge my grief, but I also need to embrace it. Why would I embrace it? It's painful. It hurts. Why would I embrace it? Why would I wrap my loving arms around it and embrace it? Because it's part of the process. I know it's the holidays. I've been seeing a lot of stuff. A lot of people have been posting a lot of different stuff. Man, grief sucks, and grief ain't no joke, and grief is terrible, and grief is the worst. And grief, man, and really, it's just a miseducation on what grief is, right? You got to embrace it. It's your feelings trying to process. It's the love that you have. It's you dealing with the loss that you going through, right? And what do? You embrace it. You can't put yourself in a position where you refuse to face it. No, that's going to prolong it. That's going to make it worse. You got to embrace it. You got to embrace it, right? So not only do I acknowledge it and I embrace it, but now I express it. I got to express it outside of myself day in and day out. And it's so very important for you to understand that we are going to acknowledge how we feel. We're going to embrace how we feel, and we're going to express how we feel. We're going to express it outside of ourselves. This is not a one time thing. This is an ongoing thing. This is day in and day out. I acknowledge my feelings. I'm going to embrace my feelings. I'm going to express my feelings, whatever they are. I'm going to give myself permission to feel, right? I'm going to give myself permission to feel what I feel. So I acknowledge it, I embrace it, and I express it outside of myself day in and day out. Grief and mourning are hard work. True, y'all, it's hard work. When I muster the courage to take even a small step, guess what? I acknowledge my effort and give myself credit. It's such hard work that when I muster the courage to take even a small step, guess what? I'm going to acknowledge my effort and I am going to give myself credit. Y'all, give yourself credit. Acknowledge your effort. When I was typing this, I started thinking about people who have to learn to walk again, right? People who have to learn to walk again. You was walking, life was good, you had no problems, no issues, no challenges. Something happens. You get in an accident, got to have surgery. Now you got to go through physical therapy. And there's a lot of people that have to learn how to walk again, right? Sometimes y'all grief is the same way. You're living your life fine, everything is good. All along, grief come along and wrecks you. Somebody dies, something happens, loss, change, and transition. And now in the aftermath, part of the process is learning how to walk again, learning how to walk through life again, learning how to walk with this loss, learning how to walk with this limp, right? It made you limp. Now you got to learn. You're learning how to walk again. You're learning how to walk again, how to get up in the morning, how to move forward, how to do this, that, and the other, how to navigate through life after this wreck, right? You're learning how to walk again. And as you learn how to walk, this is what I need you to do. Acknowledge your effort. When you take a small step, acknowledge your effort and give yourself credit. Acknowledge your effort and give yourself for every little step you take, Bobby Brown. Acknowledge your effort and give yourself credit. I got up out the bed this morning. Acknowledge your effort. Give yourself credit. I took a shower. Acknowledge your effort. Give yourself credit. I went in the room. I went in their room. Acknowledge your effort. Give yourself credit. I got on the devotion this morning. Acknowledge your effort and give yourself credit. I walked outside today. Acknowledge your effort. Give yourself credit. Whatever it is, whatever small step you take, I don't know where you're at, but whatever small step you take, acknowledge your effort. Give yourself credit. Here's the final thought. If you got questions, drop them in the chat. Here's the final thought. The secret of being able to actively mourn is to have the courage to do so. The secret to being able to actively mourn is to have the courage to do so. It takes courage to actively mourn. What do you mean actively mourn? To acknowledge your grief, to embrace it, and to express it outside of yourself day in, day out. That's what it means to actively mourn. My brothers and sisters, today is day 341. I told y'all we was going to have a little fun. When I'm courageous, I give myself credit. Hope this lesson was a blessing to you. Hope and pray this lesson was a blessing to you. If you got questions, drop them below. If you got questions, comments, drop them below. Questions, comments, drop them below. Questions, comments. Questions, comments, drop them below. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining us on today. We're going to continue to go and grow and be all God desires for us to be. But if you got questions, comments, none, I don't see any coming in on today. Look, I hope and pray you have a phenomenal Friday. Keep surviving these holidays. You know, we're in the middle of a sermon series, Surviving the Holidays. Well aware of the drama and trauma that a lot of people go through during the holiday season. We want to hold space for you. And so continue to move forward, survive. We got you. We're going to make it do what it do. Y'all pray for Tiger Smith. Not a good morning for her. We lift you up on the day, sis. Y'all keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She navigates through this season of grief and mourning. Amen. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. Hope y'all have a phenomenal Friday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go.